What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I'm here tonight with the review for Real Housewives, wrong series, one show, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, season 8, number 14, episode number 14. The episode I had to look for that because the episode was not listed as what the name of it was, but the episode is titled Red Flags. So, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Alright, you guys, so this episode wasn't really like 100% much. So we start the episode out and we see Rashida, we see Kirk, we see Stevie and Mimi, Scrappy, and Bambi. They all out at the trampoline, a fun day with their kids. Scrappy got Breland, Rashida and Kirk got their little son Carter, Eva is with Stevie and Mimi. So, Scrappy is talking about, how he's having to clean up shitty diapers. Well, when he mentions that, they have to bring up what happened in Trinidad with Pooh, throwing the sheets at Carly, having the shitty sheets. And, then Rashida tells them, and I was kind of confused why they were talking about it. The only person that wasn't on that trip was Stevie. So, I guess y'all gotta catch Stevie up on the drama that's going on. But, Rashida tells them how, she had a conversation with Spice, and Spice says that she's not going to bleach her skin. And, then Mimi asks her, well, are you going to have to sit down and have a conversation with old girl, talking about Jasmine. And Rashida's like, Rashida is basically talking about the fact that Jasmine goes on social media, and she's talking about everything that's going on between she and Kirk and Rashida. Now, I will agree with Rashida on that. Like, I think Jasmine needs to grow the hell up and stop doing shit like that on social media. It's not for everybody to see. So, keep it between you, Rashida, Kirk, Helen, and Kelsey. But, she's a young girl. What do you expect? Now, Scrappy, however, Scrappy doesn't feel like Rashida has to sit down with her at all, which I agree with that. She doesn't necessarily have to sit down with her. But if Rashida has an issue with Kirk being around her, then obviously Rashida needs to sit down and have some kind of conversation with Jasmine at some point. And then Stevie even said, y'all all need to sit down and have a conversation, to make the co-parenting work. I'm like, are you doing a good? I'm like, well, pot, meet, kettle, because are you doing a good job with your co-parenting situation with Jocelyn? Because how is that going? It's easy to dish it out, but when it comes to taking your own advice, sometimes you can't do it. So, I was thinking to myself, like, Stevie, take your own advice. So then we see a scene where, so we do see Rashida. She does meet up with Jasmine. And, she's talking to Jasmine about how to need to dial down the drama. And when she said dial down the drama, she means Jasmine posting everything on social media. Which, like I said, I agree with it. You don't have to put I tell people that all the time. My family members, when it comes to, I don't even use Facebook. But I will log into, either my Facebook or my best friend's Facebook and just see what's going on. And then I'll see, certain people posting way too much stuff. And I'm like, you get mad when people know your business. But the reason why people know your business is because you post it all over social media. Like I said, more specifically for the people that I know, Facebook is where they post all their shit. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, leave some stuff to the imagination. Everybody don't need to know what's going on in your life. Everybody don't need to know what's going on in your household, in your job. Everybody don't need to know that. Just because it asks, what are you doing today, or what are you thinking? Keep some stuff to yourself. You could be like, oh, I don't know. I guess that's why I don't use Facebook as it is today, because I don't know. I don't post anything. I don't have anything to post. So, yeah. So I definitely agree with Rashida. So then, Jasmine tells Rashida that she feels like when it comes down to it, that Rashida takes digs at her. And more specifically, the reason why she says that is because, Rashida made that comment about, Candace still being in pull-ups. And Rashida was like, she was just looking like, oh, okay, so he's still in pull-ups. And then Jasmine like, well, if that's the case, why come, this one said to me? So then they go into, Jasmine says, well, basically, Kirk paints you out as the bad guy. And now that I'm meeting with you, you don't seem to be the bad guy at all. And then, Rashida's talking about the co-parenting, how they have to work. It takes two to co-parent. And your husband and Jasmine got to figure out a way to co-parent one another. She can't keep going to Kelsey. Kelsey is Cannon's sister, not his mama or his daddy. So when it comes down to it, you three have to be the adults, have to figure out a way to make that work for their child's sake. It's not about y'all, it's about that little boy. So I don't know. That storyline, it just really irks me sometimes, and it irks me listening to Rashida talk sometimes, and it really irks me listening to Kirk talk. Like, y'all sound stupid as the fuck. Like, really do. But we gonna move on from that. Okay, so next we see Jock and Kendra. They are at Shekinah's, salon, and Kendra's getting her wig done, and Shekinah's like, "Wait a minute, Jock, you got your own spot. Why the hell y'all at my spot getting her hair done?" So then Kendra says, "Well, I have an issue with his business partner," and she's like, "Okay, what kind of issue you got with her?" She's rude as fuck for one. She runs off, the stylist. She runs out the customer. She runs everybody off. And I'm like, well, damn, if that's the case, maybe she should be a behind the scenes. I realize she might be a hairstylist, but maybe she should do stuff behind the scenes if she's not really a people person, that you're running off people. But shit, if you're running your staff off, it ain't really much that you can do. Like, running your staff off. Oh, and his business partner name is Sharonda. And Sharonda is the one that gave him that, that funky ass hairstyle that he had a few years ago. So, Shekinah asked him, well, how many styles do you guys have in the shop now? Well, how many do you have? He said, well, we started out with about 10 to 11, and now we're currently down to 3 or 4. I'm like, wait a minute, she don't run that many people off? Like, fuck. You only got 3 or 4 stylists from 10 to 11? Bullshit. So, basically what Jock wants Shekinah to do is go down to the shop and just check things out and let him know what her assessment of everything is. So then, Kendra leaves, leaving Jock and Shekinah there to talk to each other. So Shekinah asks him, like, so when you gonna ask Kendra to marry you? And Jock is still stuck on the whole thing of Kendra not wanting to have kids. And Shekinah's like, first of all, my dude, don't let that be the reason that you don't ask this woman to marry you. Like, she might be scared. It could be a whole lot of stuff going on with her that she's not able to tell you. Sit down with her, have a conversation with her, and figure everything out. But don't let her go, don't let things go to the wayside because, she might be fearful of having kids, or it just could be a lot of stuff that could be going on. So don't let the woman go without actually sitting there having an actual grown-up conversation with them, which I definitely 100% agree with what you kind of said in that instance. Like, don't let your girl go. Get your girl. If you got to sit down and have a conversation with her before you propose to her, that's all fine and dandy. Like, make sure that the communication is open so that way she feels comfortable coming to you about whatever it is. Like, that could have been the issue as to why she didn't tell him, because she didn't know how he would react to the fact of her not wanting to have kids. That could be, like, everything about that, Jock, that could be a part of the reason. Just saying, could be. Okay, so then we see Jock. He's at the salon, and Sharonda is there. She's doing she had a girl in a chair. She was doing her hair, and then there was some other ladies that were sitting, waiting to get their hair done. And Jock asked them, like, how long have y'all been waiting? They were like, oh, quite a while. He was like, quite a while, hon. He was like, so did you overbook? She was like, yeah, I overbooked. And that's really bad business to me. If you know that you are short-staffed, don't sit here and tell me, like, if I'm making an appointment with you, and like I said, you short-staffed, don't be like, oh, I can get you at da time. Don't do that, and don't do that unless you know full well that you can get me in and at that exact time. If you say, oh, I got you Tuesday 12:30, I'm like, cool, I see you then. When it comes to me and my appointments, I try to get there at least 10 to 15 minutes early, so that way my person sees that I'm there, and they be like, okay, I got this person right here, I'm almost finished, I'll be with you in just a second. Like, that's how I am. So, and like she said, she overbooked. I would hate that. So if you tell me 12:30, I get there, like I said, 15 minutes early, and you still ain't finished with your client, and then 12:30 comes and you still working on that person, and I'm like, so why did you book me for 12:30 if you knew you had somebody else coming in? Like, you could have said, let's try 1 o'clock, let's try 1:30. I would have been like, cool. Don't sit there and just make an appointment knowing full damn well you cannot honor that appointment. Like, I just don't like, I really don't like that. That shows a lack of professionalism, I feel. And I don't think Sharonda was getting what Jock was saying. Because she got defensive and she got in her feelings. And I'm like, but you said you overbooked. Like, if you had a receptionist or somebody who could, keep track of your schedule, then you could be like, okay, I got somebody coming in at 12 o'clock. I can't see it. It's going, and you know how long, okay. And that's the thing with, hairstylists. When a person comes in, I know when it comes to a barbershop, hell, you tell them what you want when you get there, but still they should know how long it takes. And then if it's if it's customers that come in, week after week or every 2 weeks, you should know them. You should know what kind of hairstyle they wear, or a general hairstyle what they wear. You should know how long it takes to do that, and you can plan accordingly. I don't know if she did that or not. Like I said, I just don't know what she did and didn't do. So then Jock tells her, hey, I'm gonna bring somebody in that can help you. She's like, what you gonna bring somebody in here to help me for? That's rude as fuck. No, it's not rude if you need help. If you are overbooking yourself, you need all the help that you can get. So then we see Shekinah. She goes to the shop and, she asks, Sharonda, like, where's the, receptionist at? She's like, there is no receptionist. Right now, I am the receptionist. And Shekinah's like, wait, okay. And then she sees some girls, sitting. She's like, what you want to get done to your hair, baby? Oh, you need something done to your wig? Okay, come on, I'll take care of you. And, Sharonda is once again in her feelings. I'm like, but she's here helping you. Like, you take all the help that you can get. Like, if you, like I said, you overbook yourself. What the fuck you getting mad for if you overbooked yourself? Like, I would welcome any help. I was like, oh, girl, thank God you came in when you did. Because I'm in my wit's end right now. Like, I have limited stylists. I have no receptionist. And I got this girl on my chair and I got a line full of people out the door. Like, I would have been like, thank you for coming to help me. But nope, she wasn't feeling it. So then, out of nowhere, Sharonda finished with her client. I guess she finished with her client. She said, I'm going to lunch. I'm like, so you're going to go to lunch and you're going to leave your help here to do your job. So that means that you are okay with losing money, right? Because if I was Shekinah, I'm like, okay, bitch, you going to lunch and I got your customers right here. So when I get to each and every one of them, I'm taking the money and, whatever they were going to pay you, you lost it because you went to what? You went to lunch. Like, again, complete unprofessionalism. So then at the end of the day, they, Shekinah and Sharonda sit down. It's like, so girl, what's going on between you and Jock? Like, it just seemed like it's a lot more. So she says that when it comes down to Jock, she feels that Jock plays favoritism with the stylist. And she's like, okay, well, that might be a conversation that you need to have with him. If you feel like he's unprofessional when it comes to the stylist, he treats them better than he treats you, his business partner, that has to be a conversation that you sit down and talk with him about. And she's talking about, he's disrespectful to the, his relationship with the way he interacts with the girls. But whatever. So excuse me. So Shekinah says, you know what, I'm gonna go have a conversation with Jock and we're gonna talk about this. All right, so we see Carly Red, we see Mimi, and we see Sierra. And for the life of me, I'm trying to figure out why the fuck are we talking about orgasms, G-spots, any of that stuff when it comes to Carly. Like, I really didn't want to hear that. And she's talking about she got Mimi and Sierra over there quizzing her on, did she ever say what she was taking a quiz for? Like, is this for her Kama Sutra book or whatever? If it is, whatever. So, we talk about, Trinidad with Pooh and the shitty sheets, and why the hell is somebody carrying around shitty sheets from 4 years ago? Which is a good question. Why would you carry around shitty sheets? Why would you keep the shitty sheets? That tells what a nasty ass person you are. So, Carly's like, the reason why she's doing a lie detector test is to just prove that Pooh is a liar, basically. And then Sierra says that, she and BK, they are over with each other, but she still got the dog. And then, Mimi's talking about her relationship with Ty, how, she's been a little distant since things have changed between Mimi and Stevie. which we did see that on social media when they had it out. So, then they talk about Scrap. And Carla says, she dated Scrap. Girl, you fucked Scrap. That's all that shit is. That's all it was. And, she's talking about she don't care what's going on between Scrap and Sierra. So then, Carla's talking about her relationship with Mo. And, Mimi's like, Carly, that sounds like he's a little bit controlling. And, I feel like you need to sit down and have a conversation with Dr. Jeff. Girl, Dr. Jeff is just as worse as Dr. Sherry. They ain't fixed shit. And Mimi, you of all people should know that. Remember season 1 when Jocelyn slapped the shit out of Steven at his counseling session with Dr. Jeff? What the fuck? When you go back and think about that, why the fuck would... Dr. Jeff is with the shits too. Dr. Jeff is with the shits. Because you got... At that time, Mimi was the girlfriend of Stevie J and Jocelyn was a side piece. And they having a therapy session. Like, why? But if you say so, if you say so. So then we see this scene where Carly is at a coffee shop. She got her laptop, she got her notebook on the side of her, and she got her phone on the side of her. Now, if anybody noticed, that laptop was not fucking on. I'm like, really, Carly? You could have did better than that. Like, girl, I can clearly tell that laptop is off. Either the battery is dead or it's just not on. Because the screen was pitch fucking black. So then, she's getting text after text after text from Mo. So then she finally, I think she did respond to the text messages. But then after that, she gave Dr. Jeff a call so that they can go and have a counseling session with Dr. Jeff. Who once again is like Dr. Sherry. Ain't done a lick of shit to help no fucking body. Alright, next we see BK. So, BK goes over to Sierra's house and he's telling Sierra that he wants to see the dog. She's like, BK, I'm good. I don't need you. I don't want to be with you. And the dog is staying with me. So, BK says that he actually came over there to tell Sierra how he felt. And I guess how he kind of wants her back. She said, BK, we have not talked since we got back to Atlanta. So it is over. And she's like, what are you doing here? So then out of nowhere, this fool tells her she is a scumbag and that she goes from man to man. I'm like, she goes from man to man. I mean, I guess nope. She was married to Scooter. Now you a rebound from her relationship with Scooter, but from man to man. And I guess if you want to say she's going from man to man because she slept with the dude that was in her DMs. Nigga, you cheated on her. Like, I'd do the same fucking thing to you too. Like, the fuck out of here. The fuck? I would have been like what Sierra did. Like, nigga, fuck you. Nigga, fuck you and your whistle. But yeah, like, what? And for him to call her a fucking scumbag, I'm like, oh, pot meets kettle, huh? Pot meets kettle. You in your feelings, my nigga, ain't you, huh? So, then we get to this damn therapy session with Dr. Jeff, Mo, and Carly. Mona, Carly deserves an Oscar for that. Because she gave a good performance. I'm like, girl, really? Really? So, let's get into it. So, Dr. Jeff talks about this curfew that Mo wants Carly to have. And, she's talking about how she's scared to tell him about that. And he was like, why are you scared? And she gets quiet. And Dr. Jeff said, see, her response right there, it says it all. It says that she's acting. Motherfucker, my nose is running. Shit, this cold is getting... I'm so ready to be over this cold. The fuck? So, Mo says that, when he argues with Carly, his tone changes and he gets a little bit heated. And I'm like, okay, Mona, so we're going to paint him as the abusive type. Cool. Gotcha. Fuck, that's going to bother me. I'm going to have to go blow my nose in just a second. But I want to finish this scene right here. So, Mo says that he feels like he and Carly's issues are minor. And she looks at him like, and Dr. Jeff said they might be minor to you, but not to her. He says, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're minor to me, but, not to her. Oh, God, that's going to bother me, and it's just running. I'm going to be right back, you guys. All right, you guys, I'm back. So, when Mo said that the issues with him and Carly are minor to him, and, Dr. Jeff says They may be minor to you, but not to her. So then out of nowhere, Carly, she's over there boo-hooing and crying. And then, she starts coughing, talking about her throat. I'm like, girl, you are really, really acting your ass off tonight, ain't you? Mona needs to get you, like I said, Mona needs to get you an Academy Award because, bitch, you gave a stellar performance. Like, I really believed it. Not. So, with this therapy session, Mo takes off his ring and he leaves. And Carly, she's like, well, I'm keeping my ring on. I'm like, what the fuck for? Because he just dipped your man just dipped out on you, girl. So, he might be out the building. And, she told me he took his engagement ring off. I'm like, wait a minute. So when did men start wearing engagement rings? Just asking. I didn't know that, but, whatever. So Dr. Jeff tells Carly basically that she needs to start by loving herself first. And I'm like, okay. Whatever. Moving on. Alright, then lastly, guys, we got Scrap, we got Stevie, we got Jock, and we got Kirk. So they are doing an obstacle course event, like zip lining and all, and I don't know what else they were doing, but it was what Steve was talking to Scrap about last week, getting the guys together to celebrate him being out of jail. So that's what they do, and they're having a good time with one another. Now everybody's, like I said, everybody's there with the exception of Scrappy. So we start talking about Scrap's love life. How Monique came from LA to be with him. That fizzled and burned out. Then we talk about his thing with Sierra. He was just testing the waters with Sierra. It wasn't supposed to be serious between him and Sierra. Then they talk about him kissing Tommy. He ain't with Tommy. And then they talk about Carly Red, and he was like, that was years ago basically, and nothing with that. And then like, well, Carly's engaged. He's like, engaged. And they were like, yep, she's engaged. So then Jock, when they talked about Tommy, Jock finally admitted, which what we all knew, that when Jock was messing with Tommy, it was just basically to get back at Carly Red, which again, like I said, we all knew that. Anybody with eyes could see that. So we see Kirk and his Adam's apple, and he doing one of the obstacle courses, and he's completely struggling with the obstacle course. I'm like, you big dummy, you big dummy. You crawling like a child. Like, nigga, you could have stayed your big ass on. You could have stayed your big dumb ass on the ground. But whatever. I digress. So then, once they stop one of the obstacle courses they're doing, Shekinah calls Jock, and Shekinah is going off on Jock about the whole situation that happened at the shop with Sharonda. So then Jock tell the guys that he sent her there, basically just giving him an assessment of what she thinks about the shop. So Kirk tells him that he needs to put his foot down. And I'm like, you wanted to fucking talk. You can't even put your foot down and tell Rashida what's going on between you and Jasmine, that y'all are co-parenting your son. Fuck out of here. Put your foot down. Nigga, you put your foot down and tell the truth for once in your miserable life. So then, Jock, he does call Sharonda. When he calls Sharonda, I couldn't understand nothing she said, and I didn't even feel like reading no subtitles because she was just talking fast and going a mile a minute. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck she's saying. So then they asking him like, well, damn, nigga, did you fuck her or some shit like that? He's like, nah, nothing happened with us. They're like, well, shit, could have fooled us because the way she's going off, you would think that y'all done smashed once or twice. So then Kirk tells, the guys that, Rashida and Jasmine are meeting up with each other at that particular time. And Steve was like, nigga, didn't I tell you to go with them together? And, he's like, well, I wanted them to meet by themselves. Nigga, just what Stevie said. They are over there with each other. They are talking to each other about you. And it might not be good for you when Rashida gets to the house. Like, Kirk is a fucking dumbass, is what the fuck he is. So, at the end of the episode, at the end of this event, Scrappy shows up. He had to go to the doctor's appointment with his son, Breland. So, that's why he's so late. So, then they see on Instagram Live where, Sierra is going off on BK. And, Stevie them tells Scrap, like, you might want to assess that situation, make sure everything is good before you, dip into that situation. And he was like, I was, again, Just testing the waters with Sierra. It ain't nothing serious between him and Sierra. But you guys, that was Love and Hip Hop. Like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys later. Yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for polls and for games people play. So, see you later, guys.